All right, guys, great day here in Kansas City, and one of my favorite parts of the year. We got, schedule filled with great wrestling events as we build closer to the World Championships. Big part of it is World Team Trials that are going on this weekend. They'll be live on Flow. You're not going to want to miss that. And every weight class just is super deep. We don't get to see our top guys, returning world medalists. They're already sitting out with Final X, so of course we want more events with them, but they're kind of being protected and they're trying to put the best team together. But a lot of good action going on. 61 kilograms, I'm excited for that. We got Nishan Garrett back. He if you remember, he won the world team spot last year but got injured before Worlds. Joe Colon goes, wins a world medal, so he's sitting out into Final X right now. But Nico Megaludis, Nishan Garrett, and Cody Brewer, those somebody's going to have a really tough semi to get into that finals spot. And then but we're going to get lots of action. If you've seen any of the matches between Nishan Garrett and Cody Brewer, they're exciting. And obviously what we saw with Megaludis and Brewer in the US Open finals was super fun. But Nishan Garrett, he's arguably the best guy, so it's exciting to have him back in the lineup. 61 kilos is going to be fun. 65, I think that's what we've been seeing the most headlines on, and we should. Yanni Diakomahalis wins the US Open. We don't have a returning world medalist there, so Yanni's not going to be at the World Team Trials, but Zane Rutherford, Jordan Oliver, and Frank Molinaro will be battling for that other Final X spot, and wrestle those matches over and over, and they could go different ways each time. I don't think I've seen Molinaro quite at where he was when he was competing for the US Olympic team, but if you remember, it was the Olympic trials in Iowa City where he just took out tons of good guys, and he started the day off, I think, with taking out Brett Metcalf, and then cruised through there, ends up qualifying to weight for the US and gets 5th at the Olympics. If he's back at his best, then he's going to be tough for anybody to beat. But here's a situation where these three guys, somebody's going to have an extra really tough match, and it goes deeper than just these guys, but I think they're the ones that we're going to want to keep an eye on. 70 kilos. I just saw, I was getting ready to come out and do this video, and I saw on the mat.com that Nolf registered for 74 kilos. So 70 is one of the ones I was looking forward to the most, because since Deacon won and he's sitting out, we're going to get to see Green and Nolf. Most likely we'll see them in the best 2 out of 3. And that was an exciting match at US Open, but Nolf at 74 catching me totally off guard. So that's a surprise for Isaiah Martinez. Gets a lot of college NCAA history there between those two. But I'll believe it when I see it, when he weighs in and brackets are built. But really interesting that Nolf would move up. And obviously that's where Jordan Burroughs is. He's not wrestling at the World Team Trials. He's already in Final X. But that's kind of a major move. And I wonder what guys like Isaiah Martinez think, and Jordan Burroughs. But it'll be really fun to see him compete there. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing, if he does that, we won't be seeing the Green Nolf matchup that was really exciting at US Open. And getting to see that 2 out of 3, super cool. 79 kilos, world champion Kyle Dake, he is sitting out, and he'll be wrestling in Final X. Interesting, compared to US Open, we have Mark Hallback. He won the last chance qualifier, and he's in the mix now with Marsteller and Valencia and Ringer. Ringer's sitting out of the best 2 out of 3. Ringer, Marsteller's one of my favorite guys. I was kind of pulling for him in the US Open, but Ringer kind of beat him up there. I think there's clear that he was a better wrestler that day. But remember last year, Valencia beats Ringer and challenges Dake in Final X, so that one will be fun to see him play. And how does Mark Hall? Where's he at right now? 92 kilos. I think it's really, Bo Nickel's been really fun to watch. I think there's a collision course there with Cox at Final X. But those are what I'm looking forward to most this weekend for the World Team Trials. Make sure and tune in. You got to be watching this stuff. some cool news here in Kansas City. Kansas adds women's wrestling, 63-2 vote in favor of adding it as a high school sport. So there'll be a 2-year transition period where if there's no girls division, girls can still wrestle in the boys division, but they'll have their own state tournament. And in 2 years, it will be, you know, completely girls versus girls, boys versus boys. And I think, you know, just this trend of teams of states adding girls wrestling is really exciting. We saw what it did in Missouri last year, and the participation was outstanding. You know, other local news, Jeremiah Reno, awesome man, committed to Nebraska. He'll be a Cornhusker in the future. So great to see him making that decision. And man, Big Ten, that's going to be tough. Beat the Streets, we were talking about that the last couple of weeks. They raised $1.3 million for their program, for the Beat the Streets program. That money will be put to good use. I encourage you to keep seeing what they're doing and just appreciate how much you know, exposure they're giving wrestling to kids and adding it into schools, but also, you know, they're getting kids into college. So good job. I thought the Beat the Streets event was really amazing, and raising that much money shows the community really cares. So they put on great events for us and for a great cause. Anything else? You know, we're working on Kansas City Stampede and Fall Brawl right now. We got some months before those, so we'll keep doing content. Thanks for Blue Chip for making this possible. If you're interested in a coverage, hit me up, Joe at GroWrestling.org. And if you're looking for team wear or camp gear, hit up Blue Chip. They can hook you up. Anyways, enjoy the World Team Trials. Take care.